Hey guys, welcome back to a new video here. It is Will from HPT Group, and actually I haven't gone and filmed a video in I think in about 2 months, so I haven't actually gone and uploaded one. I'm very busy over at HPT Group and have not had time to do any marketing as such. So this video here is actually very relevant to what's going on right now, and that is for clients who are looking to either leave Dubai or looking for alternatives, or people who are looking at currently moving to Dubai to actually see about other options. And that is how we help clients over at HPT Group. We're not biased towards a single location. Maybe Dubai is right for you, but also then wrong for somebody else. For example, I actually lived in Dubai for a short while. Was it right for me? Not really. Could it be great for you? Yes. It's really unique to every single person, and again, it is a lifestyle play as well. So there are options out there. For example, as we see with Cyprus, we can spend up to 60 days in Cyprus and then live the actual Bali, Thailand, New York, London lifestyle play alongside this, while still actually effectively paying your taxes in Cyprus, not in those high tax jurisdictions. So it is very interesting when we look at all of the options, and that's what we are going to be doing today. So for an actual decade, we've seen an actual huge net outflow of, let's say, entrepreneurs and millionaires, especially from the UK, Germany, France, and all of these high tax actual economies. We've also seen a very large increase in people in the United States looking to renounce their passport, get second passports, and actually leave the US, whether it's the US banking system or just generally the US. They're sick of the straight roads, they're sick of the actual US, and now they're looking for overseas options. Again, we can help with all corners and all pillars of this, but as I just kind of mentioned, it is different for every single person and every single entrepreneur. For example, your business might be thriving in the US, you might have a completely US client base. So for you to then live, let's say, in Singapore or Hong Kong is a completely different story from you living in somewhere like Panama, mainly due to the time zone difference, right? If most of your team and staff are over in the US, it can be incredibly awkward to be running your international operations from a place like Bali, as I am right now, or maybe Singapore, or even New Zealand, for example. So that is also a massive time factor as well, that a lot of people do naturally incorporate, but sometimes they start going to other locations and they completely forget about the time. You know, it's very important to be aligned with your client base, again, your actual business admin operations, and also your other business partners and founders as well. I've got founders who live in the US. We're generally Asia Pacific and Dubai time zone based. Again, my founders who live in the US. Personally, we only chat once or twice a week, so it's quite easy to actually navigate that. But if you're chatting to them 3 to 5 times a week, it can be a completely different story. So, I've got a list in front of me here. The main thing about Dubai right now, we have 3 big concerns. Number 1 is geopolitics, which I don't really want to speak too much about on YouTube. Second is the actual cost. That is generally more family costs. I find Dubai quite cheap myself to actually live a day-to-day life. But if you've got family, those nice private schools, whether it's Harrow, whether it's this, whatever those private schools are, it's quite an expensive lifestyle. Thirdly as well, kind of going back into those costs, if you want a decent life there, not just a simple apartment in like Marina Gate or some Emaar beachfront place in Dubai Harbour, you are looking at a serious price. Again, the same as the golf courses. It is a very increased cost of living. So yes, it might be tax-free, although there is 9% corporation tax nowadays above a certain threshold, but we can see an increased living costs that obviously reflect the tax actual haven, if that makes sense. So, the real flaw, which is the general point of failure that I've actually gone and seen, especially by living there myself and other clients too, is your residency and where your company is and where your clients are, where your business partners are. So this is very key, but where you're living does not have to be where your business is or where your trust is, where your group structure is, right? You might still have UK domiciled companies, and most of them might be coming from the UK, but you might be living in Dubai, for example. That could be just how it is. Sometimes it's not effective for you to actually move your entire business to Dubai. You might have a new venture there, a new consulting company, especially to then self-sponsor your visa, or instead if you then just actually buy a property and get a 10-year golden visa. There's many different ways to actually do stuff. But at the end of the day, where you are is usually different from where your passport is, and where your passport is very different from where your company is as well. So it's all in a different location. Now that comes at the increased costs of creating economic substance as well. So that's what's very key here. We see a lot of clients, thinking they can live in Dubai and have a US LLC. Simply not the case. They should be paid with 9% corporation tax on that US LLC. Secondly, there's an ACI risk as well. So we see a lot of influencers online marketing these simple US LLCs, basically transfer $1,000. It's not, it's like $150 a year plus accounting. And again, that's where kind of way of business. Is it wrong? Not really. So US LLCs can be used very effectively if they're managed within a group structure. We even use a US LLC ourselves, a HPT Group, to collect cash. And that is what can be fantastic, right? So what an actual entrepreneur needs from a base is several things, right? Is low tax on your profile. Number one, tax optimization is one of the most important things you can be doing in life, okay? Number two, where you're living is generally where you're living for lifestyle reasons, where you want to be bringing up a family or winding down your life or winding up your life. Maybe that could be, let's say, Miami, Dubai, right? But maybe your company is not actually based here. And that's for many reasons, right? So you choose a place to live, generally speaking, not just because of tax, but because of a lifestyle play. That's incredibly important. So, of course, the UK is incredibly negative, as we've seen on the news, as I'm sure you like-minded British people like myself understand. It's not a place we can go and live back to, because it's not Britain as we used to know Britain, right? It's still amazing, yes it is. But is it a place I would bring up like a family, raise my family, even have a business nowadays? Most likely not. Switzerland would be that every single day of the week, same as Dubai, okay? So British used to be very well known for the schools. The schools nowadays have even been infiltrated by a very low quality of human being as well. So those are two things, right? The third one is banking that actually works. And when I say this, it's like trustworthy banking, but again, where your bank accounts are might typically not be where you're actually living. For example, you might be living in Dubai, and you might have an MLD Rothschild account or an EFG account in Monaco or Geneva, XYZ, or a UBS account or DBS in Singapore or Maybank in Singapore, right? It can be different. So it's good to be very international within your actual operations and diversify in pockets around the world. The same goes for, I'm not a huge property investor myself, but we have a lot of clients who have a lot of property around the world. And they're always diversifying, not between investments, but between the location. So location diversity is very key. And that should be incorporated into the fact of where you choose to live, because it's always nice to have a few properties there as well, right? So that's very key. Again, the day requirements is very key. So we see with Dubai, it's actually quite hard to get the TRC status. And that's always been very interesting, always a great conversation with clients we've always got an advice on. So you can get it within 90 days if you do have, specific ties to the country. So obviously multiple properties, let's say golden visa or even just a normal visa, and you're generally there for, let's say, 100 days or something, and you have your bills on 24/7, and your vital interests or business interests are based in UAE. Yes, you can become a UAE tax resident, but can you go to Dubai for 50 days and become a tax resident there? No, you cannot, okay? Simply speaking, you're not going to get the TRC status this way. If you spend 6 months there, yes, you can get TRC status automatically, usually on the following year. It's quite a slow certificate to actually get. Now, we have other countries, right? We've got Cyprus, the entrepreneur's new hotspot. Limassol is not one of my favorite places. We've been actually relocating expats there for 2 to 3 years now. And they have the 60-day non-domiciled regime, which again, 0% on dividends. Absolutely amazing. And that is 0% on dividends and rental income for 17 years. So this could be a great choice. I don't want to call it an alternative because it's completely different, but a great choice to compete with Dubai, because it's 0% on dividends. Yes, you pay some small income tax, but it's completely amazing. We see the same with Spain, with Beckham's Law, only for 6 years, but a great lifestyle play. A similar type of people who live in Dubai, London, whatever, obviously spend a lot of time over in Marbella as well. The south of Spain is beautiful, really, really nice on the Costa del Sol actual location. Again, there's no fees with the Cyprus one at all. It's very easy to actually get and actually relocate there too. We also have Malta, okay? We don't really see a lot about Malta online, but it could be a great play for you. A really, really good play, okay? So you essentially, foreign source capital gains are tax exempt, okay? They're just never taxed, which is just absolutely amazing, right? Again, it's a true nice European island. You have access to EU as well. If you have lots of EU clients or EU operations, this could be a great play for you. Now, As a non-domiciled resident, as long as you don't bring money into Malta, you are not taxed on it. So your overseas offshore holdings can stay completely tax-free, or even your overseas investments, your overseas companies can stay completely tax-free, right? Now, the corporations there, there's effective rates. It looks quite high, but you can pay an effective rate of 5% on the local corporations there as well, which is truly amazing too. So a great play to also play. We also have the flat tax regimes in Italy and Greece. Someone like myself, I don't earn enough money for these, but if you earn in excess of, let's say, 4 or 5 million US dollars per year, you don't mind just paying a flat tax of 300k to live in, Italy, for example, or Greece. Wouldn't be my particular choices, but a great place to actually do. Again, we've also got Zug in Switzerland, another country to just throw in there. If you do love that EU lifestyle, that European lifestyle, you want to be close to home, Switzerland could be a great place, especially if you're British, French, EU, Swedish, Finnish, whatever you're actually from, could be a great place for you to actually entertain a solution over in Switzerland. Again, then you have the reputable look of Switzerland as well, which is just truly amazing. Now, when we move over to the Gulf, again, the Gulf right now, I'm not too pro because of the conflict of interest. It would be awful if a client landed there and had a bad experience, was stuck in an airport or anything like this. We would never want to do that. Obviously, some people still love Dubai. We're still selling lots of Dubai residency packages and corporate structures. We do a lot of work actually in Dubai with entrepreneurs, with just a group of companies, right? Obviously, restructuring them, putting a trust over it, and doing things rightly and properly to protect their assets. So when we look at the Gulf, we've also got like Oman, Bahrain, Qatar, for example. Riyadh over in Saudi Arabia is always becoming more and more popular. But what's scary here is, let's say, the water facilities, and if we have any more conflicts of interest. Again, it's still going on as we speak, not as violent as it originally was, but it doesn't seem to be finished right now. Therefore, is it a great place to bring up a family? Could be, but for myself, not for me. I wouldn't be choosing that one right there. We also have Asian. Okay, so currently Asia actually holds the hotspot for number 1, number 2, number 3, number 5 best places, right? And that is Singapore, Hong Kong. What great hubs. Now, you might be living in Dubai, but your main operations might be in Singapore. That can work in time zone. Again, most of the family offices actually left Hong Kong, went towards Singapore. Hong Kong is still massive for business. Number 1 or number 2 in the world. Singapore is the number 1 place of ease of doing business in the entire world. Again, you've got the APAC region, you've got connections to London as well. So it's a great, well-respected, safe place. And especially for companies, but even for personal life, it has everything you need, especially Hong Kong. You've got the nature as well. People forget Hong Kong is not just a city. Yes, there's Victoria Peak, whatever. You can go over to Business Bay, these other locations, as I've gone and filmed other YouTube videos on. When I've actually been there, and they're gorgeous. You have nice little private beaches, beautiful golf courses. Yes, the cost of living is incredibly high. It will make Dubai look very cheap, but again, this could be a great place for you. There's a great high quality class of people there as well, which is really, really nice, and a great access to a workforce that will do the job right compared to other jurisdictions nowadays. Let's say, would I look at hiring staff in the UK? Probably not. Their general happiness, their general kind of productivity rates are much lower than these Pacific regions as well. Secondly, then you also have access into Chinese workforce as well, especially if you're living in Hong Kong. Obviously, Shenzhen is very close by, Macau is close by, Guangzhou is also close by. So these are really great places. We have other places as well where we have seen some entrepreneurs there. Wouldn't be my choice is Malaysia. Malaysia is also a great place to be thinking about, right? So you can generally be living here, enjoying your weekends, let's say in Bali and Thailand, other great place, slowly emigrate to Bali and Thailand as you exit those actual companies and build out the actual lifestyle play. But at the end of the day, these are great hubs for doing business. Yes, you can also live in Bali and Thailand. They're still great places to live, where I'm currently calling from right now, but you would need to be creating significant substance in, let's say, Hong Kong, British Virgin Islands, Nevis, Cayman Islands, so those actual holding companies and operational companies, to prove that the economic choices have been there. And what does this mean? That could be staff, local directors, X, Y, Z, and again, you do have that yearly bill. Whether it works on the maths, it usually does. If you're earning more than, 300, 400, 500,000 US dollars of profit per year, you can generally buy your way through the substance, right? If you're living in the UK, they're not going to buy it. But if you're living in Bali or Phuket, Thailand, right, or other areas of even the Philippines, could be a great place for you, right? Have your company here, your passport here, live here, exactly what I was saying earlier. And again, let me allow you to be much more flexible with how you hold your actual companies, whether that's through a trust or a foundation structure. That's a different YouTube video, but could be a great thing for somebody like yourself as well. Now, we do have some other plays as well. Now, that is Georgia, Panama, Paraguay. I'm not really too pro on, but again, could be a great place as well. So I was speaking to a client earlier who's actually leaving Bali. They are going to Costa Rica. Costa Rica can be fantastic as well. It's got a foreign source. We've got Chile for 3 years, tax exemptions. There's got Uruguay as well. So fantastic places to actually move to if you were interested in South America. And obviously we've got the traditional tax havens, Mauritius, Cayman, BVI, Marshall Islands, whatever. There's loads of them, right? But at the end of the day, the lifestyle there, the hurricane seasons, you know, it's not a too busy place. It's very unique to be actually living there, right? So we're on about real places where real entrepreneurs are living, and there's a lot of them, right? Not like the bullshit entrepreneur over in Bali, for example. I'm not saying the real business owners with real operations who are trying to do real big things as well and achieve much growth in life. So these are the places that we've seen. Out of my recommendations, I can't just recommend a general view of where to move to. Dubai could be great for somebody, where Malaysia, Hong Kong, Thailand, Chile could be great for all individual people as well. So again, there is sometimes a language barrier in some of these countries, such as Paraguay and Chile, for example. But when we're looking at most Asian countries, there's not really a language barrier in the actual location there as well. It's more the South American options, okay? So again, to kind of summarize what I've just kind of said. So you live in one place, right? You incorporate elsewhere, your passport's from elsewhere again, you bank in a different place or many of these countries, and again, then you protect your long-term wealth in another location as well. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm not really sure what the title of this video will actually be, but again, if you're looking at leaving Dubai or leaving the UK and you're like, hang on a second, do I want to move to Dubai or not? Or do I want to move to Cyprus? There are other options. Feel free to just book in a call, or you can email below, find out on our website, whatever, and you can actually get in touch and we can have a simple consultation. So I've lived in many countries myself. I've been married to citizens of third world countries as such, and had great visa problems as well, not personally, but with my spouses or partners in my short life that I've actually lived. I've lived in over 10 countries myself and continue to strive to find the best place where I'm actually treated best. And again, this is different for me than it is for somebody else. So we really need to understand your unique needs and the client's objectives. If it's only for tax, if you don't want to do anything, there's no lifestyle, you just want to sit there and just earn money and be very healthy, again, Dubai is quite a good play. If you're looking to find a beautiful woman, they're probably not going to be in Dubai. I don't want to joke on YouTube, but I think many of you will understand what I'm saying there. So again, you can also live in multiple countries per year. That's what's beautiful nowadays, right? It's very different to like 5 years ago, where we're much more fixed in one location. Due to all the conflicts around the actual world, we've got Russia, Ukraine, we've got the Iranian war, we've got the Pakistan-Indian war, and then many smaller conflicts as well. And that's not even geopolitical diplomatic issues with other countries. And immigration issues, for example. That's not, that's just the actual tip of the iceberg. So it's very nice to keep your options open and to also have a backup plan as well, which I always recommend for clients. What happens if something changes, Could you move back to your actual home country? And if not, where would you go to? Would your still structure survive the scrutiny of your home country? All of these questions need to be asked and answered. So I hope that was super helpful, guys. It's nice to be back on YouTube. As I said, it's been like 2 months. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. I'll try to get a few up this week. So over and out, guys. Bye-bye.